Friends, welcome back to Frosty Faustings 18 live from especially Frosty, Chicago. You are right dab in the middle of Plus R action here at the 18th edition. My name is Clage. I'm here with me, amigo Raph. How are you doing, my brother?
Super. Second block of just more Plus R. It's been a fantastic tournament so far. Just the sheer amount of players from all over the U.S., all over the world, skill levels aplenty, and just exciting matches from top to bottom. And it will be no shortage of that as we continue on here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single block full of killers, people from all over the world. The legend himself, Hota, is here eyeing a break of the potential three-peat for one Jacob Pat. And that's just one of 5 billion storylines we have going on today. Legacy Guilty Gear always popping here at Frosty Faustings. Today has been no different. And we are getting closer. We are running the whole gauntlet today. We're about halfway through, so stay tuned. We got plenty more for you, and tonight we will, in fact, crown a champion yet again. So looking forward to seeing what we've got in this block.
All the players clocking in the one-day shift. I know, again, it's a lot of work, but a true test to see who can be the champion here. And, you know, seeing, like, the stations being popping off all day yesterday. We had, like, casuals all the time, and people really just getting their games in, making the most of it. But now with the nitty-gritty, we've seen a lot of players already qualify to that next step. You know, a lot of heartbreak, some upsets. So we'll definitely get a little more of that here as our first match coming up, Blobfish versus the Rising Dragon.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. It's always fun at the start of pools. That's the most likely time I get to see players I'm not familiar with or people from oftentimes across the pond, you know, anywhere and everywhere. But very excited to see what we have on the docket here to start off this 4 p.m. block. And I see the man with the fans possibly on the selection screen. Do I get to actually use expertise right out the gate? That would be wild, brother.
They saw you clock in. They're getting ready to go. I mean,
right.
All the while, I've seen, like, character variety of pop and plenty.
Yes.
A lot of great representation from across the cast. You know, plenty of the strongest characters, but a lot of it in between. And keeps making it exciting as so many different matchups, different playstyles have really been showcased so far.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the beauties of old Legacy Guilty Gear, especially Plus R, so much character expression. You can have 5 players playing the same character. You will see 5 different versions of that character. Just always a treat to get to watch unfold when new players and old players alike meet up and butt heads in sicko games for sickos. And Plus R absolutely qualifies.
Yeah.
So
only the hardcore apply. And you just enter just for the fun. That's always the good part, too. Community here is lovely. As just our match is looking to lock in just a second here. It looks like the Milia on the side of 2P. Speaking of 2P, back to the menu for a second here, making sure we're all right as rain before we, you know, play this big match.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some players who don't, you know, play outside their own PC. It's always a bit of an adjustment period, getting used to being up on the stage, all that good stuff. And shout outs to our production crew and the stage crew, always keeping this running, keeping things moving. So many people you never get to see on the cameras do so much work to make this all happen. So make sure to give all the production teams lots of love here, as well as the staff.
It's been fun seeing Max Mode, that Max Mode FGC channel, be the home for Plus R right now.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been putting on a wonderful show with so many amazing people, players, staff alike, like you mentioned. So, you know, curious to see who will be part of this pool. I know we've seen like a lot of like great players across the board. Like I mentioned earlier, just making it there. So that's always a surprise. I like to at least go into pools not really knowing. I know who is here, but not who is in what pool. So when the names pop up, it's really exciting because like, oh crap, it's that player. We're going to see them right here, right now. And the unique matchups of those good players against each other, like at this point. So it's palatable, the excitement right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun because you never know, you know, you can see someone who's on Plus R Net Play for 10 hours a day, but you never know what it's going to look like once you're up on the stage, once you have the lights of Frosty Faustings, you know, bearing down on you and a crowd cheering in the background. Truly a unique environment, as all live events are. And, you know, there's no bigger one for Plus R than this in the year. So it looks like we're going to have Anji versus Jam, Blobfish versus the Rising Dragon. This is an interesting matchup for Anji. Needs to clutch very heavily on his good lows, lots of 2S, lots of 6P to deter Puffball and other advances in the air. And so far, pretty good start. Locking down the corner, Blobfish just content, throw butterflies, sees Rising Dragons not super anxious to mash out of anything. Does escape the corner, but goes right back in, and we're going to go back to neutral for a second. Jumps over the puffball and gets a knockdown.
Yep, little by little. Blobfish not really doing too much, just taking their time, slowing it down with the big life lead they got. Don't really get to do much. A gold burst coming out, though, from the Rising Dragon, all this meter. To see if they can help. Not the comeback, but there's the Fujin, Rin into the cross-up, counter hit, and now just one more hit should be able to do it here. But Rising Dragon is now the Flying Dragon.
Yeah,
getting across the screen.
Left and right here. Does get in, forces a block, tries to charge a card. However, without a knockdown, that leaves you open to punishment immediately. Blobfish going to take the first round 1-0.
All right, gets an early butterfly. He's moving forward here, trying to push. Rising Dragon to the corner. He's going to not tech, get the land in, doesn't block the meaty. And we get a charge card on the side of Rising Dragon, charging him up and stacking him up.
Yeah, it looks like going with the DP card. Or no, that's the, excuse me, that is Gethirin. Now we have a charge region on deck as well, so plenty of charge cards to play with. But the auto guard on Reen gets the knockdown in the corner, counter hit, down forward kick. Also good. 2S into the butterfly. Nice, confirm. Gets the Nageha knockdown. Not quite, a little too high with Jam being a light character. With that charge Gethirin gets the knockdown.
Nice.
We go into the puffball super. Got an even round 2 here. Staggers out of the counter hit. All right, back to neutral. Looking for that NAS conversion. Might be able to pull something out. Region not quite enough. No punish on the down forward H, but
the burst whiz, but the punish afterwards, the charge card instead of the finishing kill, and the cross-up's gonna make its mark. Blobfish scratching their head. Almost let that round escape from them, but they're up 1 game. I love going for like the tricky option to kind of seal the deal. Seeing that Rising Dragon wasn't ready for it for the first time.
yeah, very classic option for Anji is a round steal. Is just kind of go up, threaten to do down forward kick, which has throw-in vulnerability, or just do a meaty. And at the last second, you just hop on the other side, which stomp also counts as an overhead. So it's one of those things, if you're a newer player, can be kind of tricky to block at first. So we'll see if Rising Dragon can adjust here. Off to a pretty good start. Got a little bit of a life lead, starting to hit the confirms, and does earn Blobfish's burst, but a 5S confirm into the running Fujin with the Rin knockdown.
Ooh, 6 heavy gets out though.
Yeah.
A little bit of something just to move out of the way. Recharging one of the cards. But gets counter hit with the butterfly. The cross under into a dust Nakata combo, but the burst gonna whiff. A bounce is in the house. And now one more solid hit can finish it with that Fujin. Not enough. And a super gonna launch off of there. That's big damage. Can we finish the job, and can we get Rising Dragon 1 round on the board?
Yeah.
Charges a card. Charges again. The 2-2s coming out either by accident or on purpose. Rising Dragon shaking their head a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit greedy there to go for the second card in that situation. Gets punished for it, so Blobfish actually on set point already. Gets the butterfly. No confirm on the in, though. We're just kind of throwing it neutral, showing a bit of a respect to one another. 6P confirmed. Should get the knockdown. Not quite, but no tech. We're all good here. Do it again. All right, this time Rising Dragon able to escape the corner, but is staring down an 80% life deficit at the moment.
Ooh,
5H.
Yep.
Nice knockdown, put the butterfly on. Using far S to just control space. Dare Rising Dragon try to get out. Does eventually, but now truly down to the last legs. Blobfish looking to close this out, and the 2D will catch the toes, and Blobfish takes it 2-0.
Yeah, didn't realize that they've won the set, but
Yeah.
it is 2-0 victory. And a well done job, just again, staying solid, staying safe, not going a little too crazy, and just catching the Rising Dragon in those little moments. So played that superbly well. It's going to keep moving on through this bracket here as, you know, Anji.
Useful, and you'll see, if you watch this weekend, you're going to see every type of controller.
no.
You know, hopefully no one is dumb like me and tries to learn this game on a HAP P360 hard spring and thus ruin your wrist for the rest of your life. But we are
So it
going in.
goes.
Looks like one last button check. And if these two stick, this will be a good old-fashioned Assassin's Guild duel in XX. And it's weird to say that that's not a thing you get a lot, but in Modern Plus R, you don't actually see these near as much as we once did. This used to be, all right, how many Assassin matches will I have in my block today? 7?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Slayers and Zados all over the place here. A little bit rare, like you said, but a nice little start. Is Negative Ellie. She seems to be putting on some of that pressure, although Mr. Bean Dip getting out of the corner has a lot of bars, so next hit could be humongous if given the opportunity. And now the Eddie Gauge back for Negative Ellie. Gonna be able to summon. And now, yep, sending out the blade, get the damned fang into the unblock setup. It's gonna hit Mr. Bean Dip, losing that first round.
Yeah, very nice. You don't get to see the Eddie Vice set very often. Most players opt to stick with the Accent Core moveset. but used it to perfection there. Push to the corner and then set up the truly old school unblockable close out the round. So nice work from Negative Ellie. Mr. Bean Dip kind of still getting the legs under, playing pretty respectfully, kind of picking the spots in normal, looking for that first chance to really run the Slayer game. But so far, Negative Ellie just kind of controlling space, playing very smart and calculated Eddie play here, even when Eddie is on cooldown.
Yeah, because 2H, the anti-air is really good here, bringing out the checkmate scenario. Didn't want a dead angle, didn't want to try Mr. Bean Dip, falling under that crazy auto pressure that if you're not careful, catch you slipping time and time again. Just tricky standing low, some good overheads, the command grab, that extra layer, and a lot of little tricky like extra things from Little Eddie as well. Early hit, don't want to spend the burst yet, but still stuck in the blender, not blocking low. Into this corner we go, and a damn thing again.
Yeah, sets up the knockdown. Eddie not quite back off cooldown yet. Why not just do another damn thing? Now my friend is back and ready to party and let the pressure begin. Gets hit with the low, gonna keep it simple into the unblockable. Not quite able to get the full turn, but invite hell right there to keep things locked down. And right now, Mr. Bean Dip unable to move, gets gripped for a third time. And Negative Ellie with the perfect on set point already.
Now you can see she's gotten a big understanding of what Mr. Bean Dip's kind of awareness of like the matchup and their approach, especially being very passive on defense, just being able, falling for like the grabs, mashing out a little bit, but what do you have to show for it? You get the air dash in, but you're still stuck in the corner after that big Hell's Fang and just more air dash pressure, looking really scared of Mr. Bean Dip.
Yeah, just kind of daring them to try and start mashing. Burst doesn't hit anything, but with a life lead this high, and Eddie back out starting pressure. All right, Mr. Bean Dip does jump out, but gets nipped by the counter hit Nobiru. So Eddie going to be on cooldown for a little bit, but that life deficit is looking pretty rough. And now Eddie back online, opts for the vice pressure yet again. Going to try and chip out here. Needs the FD or the chip damage will be enough. Not quite, but the far S, 5P. Catches the poke, and Negative Ellie takes it 2-0.
Really good stuff. And again, everyone's look at the rules. You show up. Everyone's been like, is that it? Is that it? I mean, it's a quick game.
It is a very
some
quick game.
quick games will continue to be 2 out of 3.
Yep.
This is
just the way we like it.
Yeah, this is not your kid's guilty gear.
No. Good stuff there from Negative Ellie. That matchup in particular is often kind of a big hurdle for Slayer.
Or just like that one like errant 6P that hits counter hit on trying to swing through. So both of these players are going to bring their all here to Tazriel, and Hat Emoji. Both players making their space. Going to bring in first knockdown with that 2D, and then now just chipping away small buttons.
Yeah, I like this. Staggering the pressure, not committing to any major Gatlings, and baits a burst, but gets hit by Orin out of the corner. So Tazriel does get the corner and earns the burst in return. So 2 bursts used 20 seconds into the round. And we got a kind of even matchup starting in round 1 here as Tazriel just kind of doing that Viking zoning, using Kibari and Tatami, gets back in.
Nice Sakura there, punishing the 2D. Gonna get the little extension here into the hard knockdown. Always tough to put some strong Oki on Slayer, but putting him in the corner, not a bad idea. Giving Tazriel that space just to chill out until the jump heavy comes to knocking.
That was scary. Jump heavy counter hit always super scary to get clipped by, especially a low health character like Viking, but no real harm. Nice grab of the dash through. Good read by Tazriel. Goes up with the throw and vulnerable 6K. Starts the pressure. Nice flashback of the Kibari to get the pressure out of the way. And Hat Emoji does escape. Got a little bit of work to do, but nice defense there.
Oh, the Sakura there. And the block on the second burst. Great stuff from Tazriel, holding on strong, taking that first round with a lot of patience and not falling too much for the Slayer shenanigans.
Yeah, nice confirm off the Kibari, gets the hard knockdown. Does not get the IAD Tatami, however, so going to go back to basic pressure. I like this. Tazriel just trying to control space, but gets clipped by the 2D. Not the full knockdown, though, so Tazriel will happily take that given the situation. Now, Emoji just kind of trying to utilize those backdash frames, utilize the way in. Pile bunker connects. That's a chunk of damage right there. But we go right back to neutral. Both players playing very respectfully right now.
Yeah, you see just Hat Emoji just chilling. Had a RC there. That Sakura was a coming, but a good little combo from Tazriel into the FRC. Score the hard knockdown here. Beautiful stuff. Big damage as well into the Tatami. A little more pressure, but a good backdash. As Hat Emoji taking advantage of these spaces and Slayer's ability to escape.
Yeah, I really like what Tazriel is doing here. playing at max range on the post, the range where Slayer can't easily contest you with a 5K, a 6P, something that's going to lead to a potential big confirm. And if Tazriel can stay at that range, Hadamoji's going to either have to take some risks or start finding ways to dash through some of these horizontal buttons and special moves to try and start the offense.
Yeah, there's a lot of ideas that Hadamoji has brought through. Hasn't gotten the chance to hit like one full combo. It's been little drops here and there, which always kind of suck. Oh, making an escape with the S Dandy, flying across with the jump 2K, gets to jump in. But again, being careful. Nice throw against a character who wants to guard cancel with the 6K, the anti-throw. Looking good here. Another chunky combo here for Tazriel. Doesn't get the knockdown, but it's okay. Enjoying a nice life lead.
Very respectful burst there from Tazriel. Says, you know what? You are Slayer and you are capable of ending my life at this range. So, opt to burst. Hadamoji wanting to get on the board. Does so as well, but gets hit by the anti-air guard counter. And Baku comes out. Baku is certainly a move that was allowed to be put in this video game.
And Tazriel's choosing the right guard cancels very often in all the situations, has the correct answers. And again, that patience in the playstyle, knowing that Slayer is the one who has to work to get in and making the most of it in those little match-specific things. Hops right over with the Orin and enjoying, a little bit of life deficit. Hadamoji finally getting a chance, but doesn't want to go in. Very, passive in the sense that doesn't want to like get blown up by more guard cancels, but you really have to bait them out and make the most of it just like that.
There we go. Yep, baits out the Baku, so that's a 25% net gain in meter, but a counter hit Orin, that's going to hurt. However, getting rid of that FRC meant Tazriel could not extend that combo, so that gives Hadamoji a little bit of room to work, but now thrown into the corner, Tazriel looking to try and close out this set. Does escape with the 2D, but waits. Nice counter poke there, but nothing doing afterwards. All right, its late goes in. Nice use of 2H, catches the forward kick from Viking, but Baku out again. The burst is baited, not quite enough.
Small little punish, getting a knockdown. Dead on time, right through the bursty invulnerability, piercing through. Small life lead for Hadamoji with a counter hit. That's going to be a guess. Backdash bite into the double 2K. Hadamoji flexing that execution to save the day at the end. Cool throw and invul move. What if I just dodged it?
No, that's massive because not only does Hadamoji on the board, but got on the board right after getting Tazriel to whiff burst, which means neither character is going to have burst for a long time in this matchup, so Tazriel may have to play a little bit more aggressively than she has to this point just to try and get a little bit of wiggle room back. And right now, Hadamoji with a small life lead. That jumping H has been doing work, but Baku kind of holding things down for Tazriel. In the corner, nice escape though. Good
FRC on the dandy step. That's so good in those little moments. Has shown that consistently as well. Life lead again, and Hadamoji's side, the slash back is good. Has been trying that multiple times against Kabari. The jump cancel, no air dash in, but blocks it to Tommy. FRC again, perfect spacing. Time is running low, counter hit, but went for the footloose journey twice to stuff out the option on the guard cancel. Can Hadamoji seal the deal here? Slash back one more time, 6 heavy, and that should do it.
Wow.
Let's go.
Really, really impressive adjustments there from Hadamoji. First game kind of felt like very passive, not really sure exactly what range to play at. Now we're seeing the BDCs, now we're seeing some punishes, and that jumping heavy is doing a notable amount of work. Even the one time Taz went for a guard counter, the late combo into the footloose got out of it, but now we're seeing that Viking damage yet again. Nice, confirmed. Black Beauty combos still count for all the damage. Good counter poke there from Hadamoji, and baits out the big bang upper. Nice confirm, gets the knock. Nope, not quite. So Hadamoji does escape the corner. We go back to neutral, but the 6K catches. No FRC, so no confirm there, and we go back to a neutral situation once more.
Yeah, we're just dancing around here. Tazriel don't have to do too much, but gets a counter here by the jump 2K. Baku whiffed, or sorry, it whiffed because the distance was there. But our anti-air guard cancel super on point. Match point for Tazriel, as she is staying solid, staying strong to run up 2K. Finally on the aggression herself, 6K counter hits there, and it's going to take the burst out from Hadamoji, who gets the bite, gets the low, challenging again. There's the overhead, there's the tricks. You can't guard cancel if you can't guard.
Yeah, well, the stagger pressure here is super impressive, but a clutch backdash from Tazriel. Gets out of the corner. Ooh, goes in. Might have been a missed input on the guard cancel. BDC through the TKO. Zonson slashbacks the Kibari. We are going in now, folks. And Hadamoji gets to confirm able to get the knockdown. What's the mix?
Nice BDC jump, but doesn't land in time for a punish against the super. Still a lot of meter gone and not a lot of damage. Slashback is good again. You see Tazra with the patience after jump 2K counter hit. Not quite the round yet, but another solid hit should be able to do it if we find our mark. The backdash to beat out the Orin with the 2K double match point. And this is just a round 2 winners match. This is crazy good.
We warned y'all it was going to get spicy fast here in Afternoon Plus R, and it has indeed, really swinging back and forth. The BDC bite gets in, no confirm, blocks the Orin, and Tazriel opts to burst before eating a massive punish, but crosswise heal does not connect, and now Hadamoji in the corner is going to get a burst back here soon, but has to be very careful not to get evaded. As the knockdown starts, crossover for the IAD Totomy, and now we're going to back up a little bit, slow things down. Baku comes out, but no confirm.
Jump heavy into the hit. Gonna have to burst there as Tazra enjoying this big life lead. Sure, Hadamoji has a lot of bar on hand. Too far away for a combo after the 5P anti-air. Crosswise healed. The RC did not get Baku'd. Small punish, jumping over. Any one hit will do as Tazra doesn't have to do much of anything.
Jump heavy counter hit gets in, and the low hits. Oh, but the combo drops. Hadamoji trying to close this out, and the 2H clips, and Tazriel with a absolute squeaker comes ahead 2-1. You tell at the end both players are like, I can't swing, but I gotta swing, but I can't swing. But be proud. When you get up on the stage, you earned your way there, no matter how you got there. But this will be an interesting one. ABA versus Dizzy, and we have what could easily qualify as a couple war crime characters in this game. Going to be very interesting to see who can get their game going, because once ABA is in Moroha mode like this, Dizzy does not have a lot of defensive options to deal with this kind of pressure, so we will see what Lucy Lamia has in the back pocket. Does get out of the corner, and now the screen pollution has begun.
Yeah, a lot of good options, though, to get these knockdowns if we play it safe. Gokumura is going to get activated. It's a big rush down. There's the burst into the fish, but it's so hard to set up, especially on the tech, but bring him to the grave. Piercing shot. He's going to at least get a hard knockdown, build some time, and a nice advantage for Lucy Lamia. Can just put out some screen pollution.
Yeah, nice confirm, countering with the crouching punch. It gets out of Goku Moroha mode just in time to not run out of meter, but does have to find a way back in, but sweep into key grab will get there. And now Wagner can start once again immediately back into Goku Moroha. That is a plus on block install, super friends. Good luck dealing with that, especially playing Dizzy. So Wagner up 1-0 in this first game.
All right, not too bad. Lamia trying to set up, but a great off-the-wall counter hit into the chain key grab. Keeping those blood packs safe. These Forest is whiffing on a crouching Abba, hurting a little bit, but there's some pressure going. Try to backdash out of the air, but now here comes that Abba crazy pressure, trying to get that risk gauge going high and enable some big damage.
Yeah, interesting that Lucy Lamia seems to kind of just be willing to run away and try and run out the clock. The problem is that lets ABA build plenty of meter, and you get Goku Moroha, and this is going to hurt. The burst does not connect, and that's going to be a wrap. Wagner takes this one 2-0. Again, dealing with ABA in Moroha mode is so difficult. It is something you truly have to spend a lot of time in the matchup grinding, because you're taking a character who can do almost nothing of value in base mode and turning him into seriously one of the best characters in the game once Moroha mode is active.
Yeah, here we go, that pressure in the corner, try to press, getting counter hit. At least was able to throw out a fish to get a little bit of room, but Lucy Lamia has been playing very scared, and that's like the hard part here, as Wagner's just had kind of free reign to run these approaches at air or ground angle, and Lucy has not really found a shot. Small knock-in with the ice spike. Opportunity here. Backs away, maybe expecting the Danzai. Heavy, and the whip ice spike's going to be a lot of potential damage here for Wagner.
Yeah, very nice. Goes with the double key grab, which does still work on Dizzy. Very key there. Got Wagner out of Moroha mode and right back in. Goku Moroha is activated, and this is going to be a grip. Drops the in, though. Little bit of room, but the run-up sweep. And Wagner already on set point. Yeah,
nice stuff there. Lucy Lamia again. At least like Abba losing a lot of life hurts a bit, and Lucy Lamia could have taken more advantage of it, but it's tricky. Run up grab. It's going to be a nice damage combo here, trying to build up the bar to go into Goku Moroha at any moment. So extra spooky here if you're Lucy Lamia under pressure.
Yeah, does finally challenge with the 2P, does escape the corner now. Now it's just a question of when will Gokumara comes out. Opts to burst, so now gets clipped by the Darkseid, and this is gonna hurt. Double FRC, jump up, do it again. Might have just enough to close out. Not quite, but any hit will close out this round. What do? You ain't had a button for that. You got no meter. And Wagner gonna take a convincing 2-0. Kind of a classic case of probably not a lot of ABA experience, and that's real difficult to deal with on the stage.
Anybody like trying to
really annoying to deal with. You got to learn how to navigate stuff like stand heavy and navigate the Blanca slide. But the thing that really throws people when they're learning this game is, why are these dolphins so good? Why do I get swatted out of the sky every time?
There's so much more to her kit that you have to worry about as well. So you really have a stack of things stacked against you. And we're going to start with the wheel.
Yeah.
Guess against that. That's already one weird wrinkle that Espada's bringing here is Frosty with the soul bad guy. Gets to run up heavy, but doesn't quite follow through, and the overhead kiss is going to get a grip.
Yeah, wow, nice spacing on that command grab from Espada, and does get the knockdown. Nothing too damaging, but the nickel and diming is starting to add up, and the forward H catches. Nice use of the 5K at the Dolphin, and that is a 1-0 round lead here for Espada here at Frosty Faustings 18.
Yeah, again, can make so much quick work of any matchup. Heavy hitting, fast character as well. There's the 5K, gonna trade on the wake up, and just a little bit of damage and already sold. Close to stun, pretty much GG there with one more tap with the overhead on the charge 6 heavy.
Yeah, I like what Espada is doing here. They've immediately recognized, hey, I don't think you know how to deal with a Mei that's heavily aggressive. I'm going to Dolphin again, run up, throw the force break. You show me you know how to navigate this peril. And if they don't stop. Don't solve someone's test problem for them. Let them struggle.
Run up,
finally, though. Yep.
Okay, little something. Into the super, so next, 1-2-3 combo, into the jump heavy, getting a little something here and there, but gonna need some more bigger combos and finding those spots, but the dizzy into the run-up, confirm. Oh my goodness, Espada not dropping a beat.
Yeah, kind of surprised we didn't see a burst there with it on deck. Frosty opts not to use it. Restival trading with a soul jump north. Oh, the Grand Viper drops, unfortunate. But does earn the corner, gonna go ahead with the force break Tyrant Ray, and gross. The whiff Dolphin into the low, a classic. Espada's ranges on the overhead kiss, which just pristine right now, but does get gripped out of the vertical Dolphin. See what the mix is.
A little too early on the command grab, and then immediate 5 heavy counter hit. One more of those can spell the end for Espada, getting caught back touching the corner, but the wake up grab is good. One more messy guess. It's going to be the jump into the overhead dust. Espada with a fast 2-0 over Frosty as Soul Bad Guys. Flames have been put out for now.
Yeah, starting to see the adjustments there. Got a few good hits kind of going in, but again, just Espada saying, I don't think you know how to deal with this character. I'm not going to give you time to adjust. If you can't do anything when I'm throwing Dolphins, when I'm throwing 5H, I'm just going to do it with impunity until you make me stop. And it's a good way to run a set when you can color, and we could not be happier to have you all out here. Sorry the weather's not being the most hospitable it's ever been at a Faustings, but it's called Frosty for a reason.
Yeah, hey, what better way to stay warm than pack like a bunch of sardines, and our cliff sensors are tingling versus Frijoles Faust. A funny little matchup as we have good range on both sides, tricky movement, potentially from Faust to keep Cliff at bay, but once Cliff gets in, the damage will pour out. But getting in can be the tricky thing.
Yeah, this is one of the few matchups that the modern Cliff players will tell you. On paper, this is actually a fairly difficult matchup for Cliff. But the nature being that Faust is a very low stun character, and one straight counter hit can be enough in the most literal sense. So G-Dom going to be looking to score those big hits, get the most out of the damage. Right now, having to play very careful defense.
Ooh.
Nice use of the stand heavy. Gets the full confirm with the OTG. Uses the force break chop for the stun, and that is going to be a 6H, and you are crushed, my friend. 1-0 for G-Dom.
One mistake from Frijoles, catching so much, but that is the Cliff experience. Once more to swing for the fences. Good chunk of damage gone, and now you're under pressure. The drill is going to be an answer. no side dodge, and G-Dom is happy to hold this lead, but a jump heavy is going to connect. There's the bedpan. Doesn't quite home in, and the love punishing the Faust. Knocked down into the chop. Now you got to be careful here. Good block on the crossover.
Yeah, got to be really careful when you get Cliff on wake up. The chop does give the risk of stunning him the more he uses it, but it's an incredible wake up option to make you whiff a button. So right now we have both players down their burst. Frijoles does get their back right now, and G-Dom not far behind. The force break Pogo not doing anything, but with a very little bit of a life lead. Wow, Drill barely catches the recovery of the scalpel pull. Playing very respectfully right now, trying to stay at their max ranges. I see a meteor at and the stop sign. The jumping heavy says, get out of my airspace, friend. Now, the fake teleport into the super. All right, not the greatest item pull of all time, however. So, G-Dom still alive to try and work back in.
One too many donuts, getting close to negative penalty. If you're not careful, Frijoles already with no meter here, and a chip could be a huge thing. There's the drill, 2P, 2H. Just needs 2 more solid hits to kind of make it work out. G-Dom just being extra careful, extra cautious, avoiding the bomb. There's the pan, there's the low and the overhead. Great block on it. Watch out for the bomb. Fine.
Does block the bomb, and the timer is running down here. Will Frijoles just try and scam this out at this point? 2, tries to catch with the super FD, and that should be enough. And Frijoles does navigate the storm. Runs it all the way down to time over, and we are tied 1 game apiece here in game 1. 1 round apiece, pardon me.
Yeah, scary stuff here. I mean, it's a rare time over, but again, Frijoles just saying, I don't want anything to do with you. I know what can happen if I'm not careful. Finds the jump 2K into the drill. Woo! Finally getting the launch, taking the burst off of that, and then we get an initial meteor to make this escape.
Now the meteors come down. The 2K, one of the best normals in Guilty Gear history, doing its job, but no confirm. And nice chase down there from G-Dom, but only gets a few JP, so nothing too damaging. And the overhead connects with another hammer. That was twice in 1 round that happened.
Yeah, I mean, Cliff explodes your life bar, but his explodes back in return. You feel like that wasn't a lot of damage, but those hits add up immensely, and that stun was close too.
Yeah, and I really like the way Frijoles is adjusting it. Frijoles knows I can't win swinging. I cannot win in a scrambly, panicky matchup here. The damage is just going to be way too much in Cliff's favor, and the odds of getting stunned become really high. So really clutching on the range, on the ability Faust has to control space, and is really trying to go, you know what? I don't want you near me, but you can only stave off so far, and now into the corner, but a nice block on the 5D.
Yeah, very tricky dust to deal with. Great defense on the side of Frijoles. Got the poison cloud. Make some space. Some good items here with the hammers coming out. And a lot of 2Hs just to keep this ground safe. Big jump is going to set up some pressure, but immediate dead angle as soon as we block.
Yeah, you can tell Frijoles is just like, I'm going to play at max range, you figure it out. And so far it is working very well. Navigating just enough aggression to avoid negative penalty, obviously super important in any matchup. But a nice reach on the scalpel pull, and has a good life lead to work with, but saying a life lead exists in a Cliff matchup isn't all that real. So let's just not count any chickens before they're actually hatched.
Donuts, double bombs. Watch out if you're Cliff. Barely gets over the hurdle, but it's the final bomb that lights it up. Frijoles on match point. This extreme patience has worked out immensely here. Poised to put him further out if they can deal with this defense here.
All right, could have been really scary that that guard bar was starting to get cranked, but Frijoles navigates and does get the proximity unblockable and baits out the dead angle, looking quite good right now. Nice use of force break chop to go over the kanji, but gets clipped by the jumping slash, and now trading again. I like this, just using scalpel pull to trade and negate any ability to go in on the kanji, but the 5H connects, and now Frijoles is pushed to the corner.
Gets a burst there, finally a life lead in G-Dom's favor, finds the air hit, but all this space back for Frijoles, gonna go for the door, FRC, I want out. That takes the escape button, meteors are coming through, it's gonna connect.
Wow, only 1 meteor connects, kind of threaded the needle there for G-Dom, but that guard bar is cranked, and no real way to force in. You got kanji, I got items. Not the best roll, though, so G-Dom is in and has the corner, but the force break Pogo connects, no full confirm. G-Dom still alive.
All right, chip is going to be on the table. There's a throw set up into the OTG. Going to be enough. And now G-Dom with a sliver of light, a sliver of hope with a round on the board, but still it's a marathon at this point, and Frijoles is happy to run it.
Yeah, it feels like every round is going 70, 80 seconds in this set, which is not something you see very often in Cliff matchups. So credit to Frijoles sticking to the game plan, but now is in the corner. It gets clipped by the AAD string. Opts to burst. That was going to be a lot of damage into the same situation. Ugh, the Pogo runs right into the Kanji, but no real harm, no foul there. Still plenty of room to work with. Going back to neutral, and G-Dom trying to stay in, trying to keep the pressure up because, as figured out, Frijoles does not want to play up close right now.
All right, there's the overhead, the hop over, getting more Pogo pressure here as just Smythe's defense, as G-Dom just happy to be patient, avoiding taking any extraneous damage. Woo! Dust for dust, gets the invincibility perfectly, enjoying a slight life lead. We're floating, we're flying. He's getting out of dodge. Somebody call the devs. That's a glitch.
Yeah, no, that is a one-frame input, by the way. Very difficult to hit that FD cancel. It's basically doing JD and faultless defense canceling it to get the upward momentum. Just kind of stalling for some time there, and it works out. G-Dom now with the life lead and trying to close out the second game and even up the set.
The
nice.
drill's good. Not a big punish there at all, but in the corner, avoids the anti-air. The dodge gets blocked as well, and this is a great spot for Frijoles. Either player can make the magic happen and jump heavy. One more of those will be it.
Yeah, down to 10 seconds. Frijoles does have a burst back, but trying to get out of the corner. Will G-Dom now just try and scam it out? Blocks the teleport. The burst goes, though.
And we block the overhead perfectly, and next time up, and G-Dom giving Frijoles a taste of their own medicine.
How often do you see a Cliff win by time over? Like, real talk, how often do you see a Cliff win by time over? This is why you watch Frosty Faustings. This is why you watch Plus R whenever you get an opportunity to watch Plus R. I've been playing this series for 23 years. I don't know that I've ever seen Cliff win by a time over. You can always see something new in Legacy Guild.
It's ridiculous, but again, both players will say, hey, you want to run away, that's fine. I can play that same route here. I'm not just unga bunga. Nice counter hit there, but the 6P is good. Not a counter hit 6P, but at least get some space out of the corner.
Yeah, I really like both these players are showing they know this matchup. You're seeing a lot of specific poke choices, but the Snape Saddle FRC into 5D connects. Frijoles says, nope, not dealing with that, gonna opt to burst. Pushes back into the bomb, but G-Dom being patient. Double Robo-Kai coming through, nothing doing though. Nice bait on the burst, and we get a full punish, and now woo!
Watch out for the bomb. Nice, just jump block there. A little scary. I'd like to see Frijoles get a little more anti-airs in those situations. 5Ks or 6Ps could be magical here. Finally avoids the anti-air on the OS.
Yeah, really good patience there from Frijoles and good defense. Not immediately drilling back down and getting hit by 5H. Force break chop barely gets. One of the scariest starters in Guilty Gear history. Forward heavy from Cliff. But Frijoles lives to tell the tale for now, but the confirm into the super, and now G-Dom has brought this all the way back to set point.
Yeah, the reward for the chase is finally coming through to fruition. That patient, like, again, not taking too much damage from trying to run into Faust, gonna hold out for the unblock, giving Frijoles a chance. Run in, get the unblockable. Mini Faust gonna come in to help out, and breaks up the pressure sequence, brings them in. Gets the damage on the scalpel pull, very nice.
So smart, uses that to avoid the kanji, gets the full scalpel pull, which is a ton of damage on Cliff, but is also a lot of meter for Frijoles to work with. And now the bedpan earns Frijoles in, but gets caught by the 2D, such an impressive poke. And the Nape Settle FRC, the gimmicks are working. Oh, but tried to taunt too early, so could not put more kanji on the board. Which means G-Dom's the corner, dodges the meteors, but gets hit by the overhead, and now we are going to a final round in the final game of this set. Frijoles and G-Dom trying to move on in winner's side.
All right, already here we go. Gets out of the corner, small little anti-air 2K. The air throw is good. We're just gonna dive right in with the big jump in for extra repressure, but the backdash works out for Frijoles, not wanting to challenge with an anti-air. The delayed going my way, catching on the opposite side, and the pull works out, forcing the burst out again.
Yeah, really smart there from G-Dom. Knew that Frijoles would commit to the entire scalpel pull sequence, so knew it was safe to burst there and there wouldn't be a punish. So smart read there. Does get G-Dom out of a little trouble, but does cost them a whiff burst. And now the confirm into the 6H. Not quite stunned. It doesn't get the knockdown, so Frijoles still alive here. Has to be very careful, though. Any counter hit from Cliff could put Frijoles in stun range, and that would more or less end the round.
Look at this. A lot of guard bar on the wrist gauge. Nice FRC to stay safe, but the super's going to be huge. And we're going to finish it with the OTG. Beautiful stuff from Genon, picking their moments and sealing the deal. Patience, rewarded, determination finds its way through. But big up for Frijoles, making that like go the distance and becoming like a test of stamina.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. And up against Wii Sports, we're going to waggle our way to victory here with the sole bad guy going up against Native, a.k.a. Native Impact. Loving the scruff on Native side. Keeping it warm one way. Hammerfall comes out. He's going to get punished real quick. Not going to chase down afterwards. And Wii Sports picking little options. Puts Native in the corner.
Yeah, I'd be very curious to see how Wii Sports navigates this. Most Soul players will tell you this is a matchup that takes them a long time to get familiar with because you have to play so differently. You have to sacrifice a lot of Soul's best pressure options because those caps, but there it is. Native with the 2H, it is a hallmark of his play. It is a no-fly zone over Native's head. That is not how you want to try and get in.
Yeah, no, you think up top is going to be okay, but they're having a lark, they're having a laugh. And that's the energy I like to see is like, Wii Sports is like, this is my life now.
Even Native was like, damn, that did a lot of damage. And yeah, Potemkin sure does. No confirm on the overhead, but we go right in with the slide head. A little bit of a drop there, but a plentiful life lead to work with. But Esports getting on the board, gets confirmed, but the wake of P-Buster says, no, that is not how it works when I get off the ground, friend. You must respect a 3-frame command grab that goes about 4 counties over.
I've been there, Wii Sports. I know the feel. You're having a fun time, right? You're going up against what you know is one of the best to do it for Plus R here in North America. With locked in, gets a small little trade, rushing in, but stopping because they knew what happened last time. Yeah. I like seeing these adjustments. It's character growth. Yeah,
absolutely. Gunflame, you would think, is such a potent tool for Soul against a character with limited mobility, but you have to be careful not getting put. Wow, the Red Viper goes through a little early for the punish, but the double crouching heavy into the big damage gets the knockdown on the JD.
Gets stuffed by the overhead, backdash out. Hammerfall's not going to work out, but Wii Sports got their work cut out for him. Gets a jump in, no whip punish. And the flick in the pressure after the IB. Native ready for those little moments. Locked in with a quick thought. And now one more round away from locking in to the next portion of the bracket.
Yeah, it's what makes fighting a character like Potemkin in Native's hands so scary. That was maybe the first or second time that Esports tried to chain into Gunflame from a pressure string. Gets flicked immediately, and now just being nickeled and dimed to death by max range pokes, and Native in. Doesn't fake the burst, but has a 94% life lead to work with, and does use the burst just to get out of the corner. All right,
Sidewinder, but doesn't get anything more from it. At least we saw the potential for a loop there, but the 5 heavy gonna put the stop sign. And a fun little match as Native just does what they do best and run over the competition.
Native is so good, man. Like this, it's one thing to be a Potemkin and have elite defense. We've seen, Fab, Raekwon, many Potemkins will show you that opening them up is the equivalent of trying to open up a Howitly capable of a basic Nelia mix-up, turning into 60% damage and right back in the same situation. So
well, there's a couple of things Faust will have on deck as well. If given the opportunities, let's see what Mighty Joey can do here. Already a nice to simple anti-air 5K. Gets our item out, run up 6 speed to cover our bases, and the hairpin whiffs. Mighty Joey, though, getting ripped up, and now it's party time with a nice little confirm from Deft.
Yeah, did pick up the hairpin in the process as well, so has plenty to work with. And there it is, Silent Force. Again, that projectile going to do a lot of work, but the stop sign comes out. The jump heavy counter hit, and against Milia, that's a lot of damage, but a baited burst. And here we go, the dust loop has started, but it's dropped. Big drop there for Deft, and Mighty Joey does escape to get back to mid-screen, and the stop sign once again says, no, man, this is a no-fly zone.
Oh, we hover a little bit. Didn't get it confirmed, but Robo-Kai out of the sky. What a great projectile trajectory. Mighty Joey very, very locked in here. Has executed things very, very well, but going to go Secret Guard and force Mighty Joey to hold all of this.
Yeah, no, one of the strongest mix-up tools ever created. Secret Guard, incredible, but a good old-fashioned disc works just as well against Faust, who has a hard time escaping these situations. And that is a Milia round if I ever saw one. Def says, well, that first one was interesting, but what if I just didn't let you play the game?
Oh, try to go to 5K again. Jump block to hairpin, not a bad option. Gets the drill, lands, and lay the time before the 5K becomes air unblockable. Doesn't go for the pogo after the 2D, which could combo on Amelia being a lightweight, but happy to take a big life lead damage, and the jump back to keep Amelia in this corner. Nice.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Mighty Joey, committing to consistent anti-airs. You know Amelia's going to approach in the air. You have to deter it. Baits the burst, and Mighty Joey showing the knowledge, showing the understanding of Amelia's avenue of approach. Just nickel and diming with anti-air after anti-air, which is something that Faust absolutely excels at.
Okay, this isn't regular Joey. This ain't lightweight Joey. This is Mighty Joey with a mighty good first game. Gets the drill, blocks the burst with the run-up on the counter hit. Beautiful situational awareness coming through in all these moments.
Yeah, no, Def looking a little razzled. Nice block on the overhead, though. Good patience and poise, but gets caught by the low. And we're going to get the full combo. Goes for the FRC to get the extend. Doesn't need to, but Def does escape the corner, but that life deficit is gigantic and has a massive hill to climb here if he wants to get back in the set. Gets confirmed, but drops, resets the old-fashioned way. And I like this. Truncate the combo, get the mix going. Doesn't bait the burst, however, but the roll through the dead angle, the awareness by Def. But Mighty Joey not going quietly. Another anti-air once more. Over the scalpel ball, into the confirm.
Gonna need a little more damage there. Should be able to do it with the jump piece. Crushes the guts with barely any life to left. Deft definitely handles business there with a jump beat a challenge. Immediate tech drill though, good option. And beating out the jump dust with that 6B into a hard knockdown. Let's play the game, same side.
Yeah, wow, great mix up from Def there. Opts to do basically nothing and let Mighty Joey twitch once. But Joey does escape the corner now, and we are back to neutral, but a little bit of work here to get caught up. No confirm there into Lust Shaker. Wow, the 2K hits wrong way.
And nice.
Wow, burst is baited. Def trying to pick up the hairpin, but gets caught by the anti-air 2K and is now cornered without the hairpin. Proximity of unblockable is good, but the burst is not baited, and the pin is recovered.
And again, opting to go for the Adam throw, not wanting to go for either the jump combo or the pogo after hitting that 2D, which is fine. Risk gates up, goes to the dead zone with that low run, but the meteors are out. Mighty Joey trying to close out here. One more small hit could do it. A lot of pressure here. Oh, 5D trying to get the run under. And now it's a last guess for game as Mighty Joey running out of meter. Needs just one more tap. Either player can make it happen. Cap in, and no! What a punish on the drill, wrong way.
Wow. Mighty Joey able to navigate that secret garden the first time. Had just enough FD to survive. Not the second run, however. And Deft showing a new wrinkle here, just dashing in and using Amelia's very low-profile dash to get under Scalpel Pull, to get under a couple other moves, under the 5D no less, and get that second game. So we are even at one apiece. And right now, Mighty Joey again, nickel and diming with the anti-airs, not getting full confirms, but already has 60%, but gets the burst baited. And now, Def trying to hold the corner. The hairpin is down, and Joey is trying to camp on it, doing a great job, and Little Faust is going to help out a great deal in that process. But Def does escape and is able to pick up the hairpin, immediately back in with it.
All right, Little Fausto, I like that. Backdashing through, it's going to be a little pressure breaker. Spin the wheel, the poison gets the hit, but immediate air dash in, off the wall stick, setting up a little bit of a mix-up. Lust Shaker's going to go, allowing Def to set up the win condition here. Wake up, option select 6P throw. Doesn't work in match point for Deft.
Yeah, great awareness there by Def. Realized that was going to be the option select. You have to do something there as Joey. You're not going to navigate an entire secret garden mix up with no life. So great awareness there from Def on set point. And now getting nickeled and dimed again seems to be the order of all these rounds. Joey's getting hits here and there, taking off Amelia's health, but it's never the full confirm. And now Def back in, owning the corner, but a far S allows Joey to escape.
Oh, punishes the 6 heavy, did not hit, so no way to cancel out. Knockdowns there again. The overhead, good block on the side of Mighty Joey's side. 5P to get a check, jumps out. 6P on the opposite end. Forces the burst out from Joey, who's running out of time, running out of options, and this should do it here. One more, Gust Crush does it for Deft. 2-1 in a big match, but Mighty Joey met his match.
Yeah, really, really impressive adjustments from both sides there. Originally, Joey just kind of like, oh, you're going to be in the air all the time? Cool, I'm Faust. I have like 20 anti-airs. Let me pick out of my bag. And then eventually you saw Def go, okay, Let's ground approach a little bit more. Let's dare you to do scalp and pull. Let's dare you to throw an item when I have some of the fastest run speed in the game. And those micro adjustments started to add up. And then the thing I really, really like about Death is he tried to do the big dust loop combo twice. It dropped on him both. He said, no more. We're going to truncate things, keep it simple. Getting a knockdown. This was the first 2D game that I ever saw that you saw a nominal amount of pad players. Of course, pad players were infamous in Tekken because of the movement ability of a pad compared to a stick. But you didn't see it a lot in Street Fighter and other stuff. You see it all the time in old Guilty Gear. Now we have, like you said, keycaps, hitboxes, etc. And now we see a very unique. You do not get Robo versus Justice very often. So this will be very interesting. Robo, one of the few characters that can kind of sort of fight a projectile war with Justice.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, if you want to sit back and throw out projectiles against Robokai, just put the mat down, charge up the power. We also have the running punch. Invulnerability can get through, and Ben Fish already level 3 heat. So that's a lot of frame advantage, a lot of power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Behind every normal, every special.
Yeah, no, level 3 heat for Robokai, you need to understand, his 5P is +9, bucko. It's a jab. It's +9. Now, granted, you do it for too long, you explode, and that's not very fun as Robokai, but nice use of the poke lane, trying to get that missile through, and the Robo Dash gets through the nuke. Not quite enough to close it out, though. Mr. 2 trying to look for any room to get the nuke party started. All right, we have a little room to work with. Binfish just going to chill, try to get the mat out, get some levels built up, but gets clipped by a nuke, and now has to wait a little bit. Another mat goes down and just navigating the opposite course. But the Bazooka does take out a few nukes. That lets him get in with the Robo Dash, but an escape from Mr. 2, and we go back to the corner.
It's a war of attrition between the two, but the power of the Superman punch. It is invincible. If it hits, you get all that bar, and it is 0 on block.
Yeah, no, very interesting because Robo often considered to be a character that has some pretty notable flaws in Plus R, can struggle in a lot of matchups. This is a matchup where the unique mechanics Robo has available are a massive boon if they're used correctly. And any trade is going to go in Robo's favor because it ends the nuke spam, it allows pressure, and this is a damage race Robo can win. The empty float into the low. I see you, Binfish, with the schmicks.
Yeah, now we're back to that big heat. You see how much hit stun can come through, but the throw into the combo leading to a lot of damage. Not poised to explode, but instead we're going to hit that burst there. All this meter here, explosion from the back. One solid combo from Ben Fish can turn the tide really big, but a great backdash, and there's no guts on Robokai, so she's able to kill here, no problem.
Yeah, very nice use of the backdash. Justice has a similar backdash to Potemkin in that it's very, very long active frames, but got to be careful with how you use it so it doesn't get punished. Nice use of it there, and we have an even game here, 1 round apiece. Robo Dash getting that meter online, and Binfish could tend to just say, you got nowhere to go, my friend. I have the entire war chest of armaments online. Mr. 2 does escape, but a massive life deficit to make up.
I like that though, good backdashes all around. Finally Mr. 2 with some space to set up the projectiles. Has to watch out for the missiles, but they get eaten up. Oh, Superman punch again. Missiles all day, can keep shooting them out, but a great anti-air.
Yeah, nice anti-air there from Mr. 2. Gonna get the corner knocked down, a lot of damage. It has room to work with. Erases the first batch of missiles, but not the second, and now Binfish right back in there, relentless. How does it feel to be on the other end of it, Robin?
I'm telling you, we're playing Gundam Versus here. Homing missiles, shot missiles. Sure, Mr. Tudo is still in a slight spot, but the Superman punch burst through again, powering up our arsenal of weapons as the chip is enabled a little bit more. The missile's coming down, you better watch your dome. And the pop-off from Ben Fish taking that first game.
I think these two might know this matchup a little bit. You're seeing such matchup-specific things, and I love the way they're both approaching this. At the end, they're just like, all right, it's time. War of a Worlds. Launch the nuke and see what happens. Binfish able to come out ahead. And right now, the difference is the Robo-Dash. That is what is turning the tide in these projectile wars. Thank you for making me look smart, Binfish. I appreciate you, my friend.
It's those little things. Got to be careful. Mr. 2 does have the counter. If you time it right, the startup can get blessed up to a full combo. But if you're going to take those shots at that range, you better watch out. Level 2 heat. All this pressure adding up more, but escapes. But the DP is going to connect our knockdown central. And Mr. 2 already lost so much life here. Can't afford to get blessed by anything.
All right, does get a little breathing room. We got some nukes out, but Binfish is on so much meter, going to get the level 3 missiles, but knocked down again. Another batch of level 3 missiles gets through, spins the rest just to keep Mr. 2 at bay, and now is just trying to chip out that last little bit of life. I like the micro walk there, detonate the missile, get a little bit of room, get some meter. Got to watch that missile coming down, and there it is. And Binfish on set point already. Got to watch your dome when that crouching heavy comes out at high heat.
That missile command does it. Immediate burst on the first hit, and Superman punch. The power is eternal, as Mr. 2 has not had a solid answer. Backdash, not good enough. The active frames into Horsey. Give me that big damage. Looping into the steam. I want that meter back. I'm ready to put on this big, tricky show. The gimmicks aplenty into the TK overhead. But a good burst for Mr. 2. Last chance.
I know Binfish relentless in that offensive pressure, and I could hear the homies out in the crowd getting hyped for it. But Mr. 2 finally gets a confirm, gets a knockdown. But we've shown that right now the range game is just not working out in Mr. 2's favor, and that's going to be a hard adjustment. What you do is justice when your best tool is being outdone by your opponent.
Okay.
The nuke able to negate the 2H, gets a little breathing room, but again, just immediately Binfish is like, you can't navigate it forever, but a nice jump in, and now we're getting down to where Binfish is in danger of being chipped out.
Yeah, might explode here, but the missiles are coming. Avoids it. Pixels of life left as Binfish has to FD. No Superman for you, as Mr. 2 stalwart in their position. Gets around and gets a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, let's not forget, Binfish was dominating that round and on the verge of closing out this set, so a clutch comeback from Mr. 2. And now the back foot has altered. It is now Binfish unable to get his armaments going, and opts to dash in now. Mr. 2 being patient, but that guard bar is cranked. Doesn't get much off of it, unfortunately, but is content to just set up the nuke line yet again. And suddenly, Binfish can't navigate the nuke spam.
Nice up back, gets the punish. Up backs again, but a clutch air throw. Level 2 heat could be huge if we don't play our card. We're just going to block, set up the FRC, get the hit. And Mr. 2 just very comfortable here, no problems.
Yeah, has kind of found the footing, has figured out how these poke lanes are working, but gets caught by the 5K at level 3 heat. So the knockdown comes. Mr. 2 opts to use his burst, trying to stay alive in the set. But Binfish with the big damage confirms.
Oh, last chance. The heat's still there, though. Michael Sword in the air is going to be a little bit of space for Mr. 2, but the advantage is now on Binfish's side. Not a lot of meter, only level 2 missiles at this moment. If Mr. 2 can get in, can make something happen. Instead, FRC's out. Ooh, explosion connects. Do we have enough damage here? Not quite, but any little hit can do it.
Both players down to their last bit, and the nuke clips, and Mr. 2 brings it all the way back from a near 80% life deficit in round 2, unfazed, unbothered.
Has not flinched a muscle. I would think there'd be only one expression on Mr. 2's side. DOS Bones, or Bonclay, excuse me. This is the big time now as Mr. 2 is just chilling like a villain. Back to setting up shop, no problem. A Superman punch finally works again after it hasn't in a little bit. We get the jump S counter hit and doing some sick damage into the missile looping.
That did a grip, my friends, and now Binfish with one single confirm has taken a massive life lead, and the stun should be able to close this out. Wow, went for the full burst bait, and we have the level 3 loops. My man has decided to style to get back in this set, and once again, Binfish back on set point.
Crowd favorite right now is Binfish. Big chilling with this flavor of Robo, approaching things as best they can. And we finally have Mr. 2 being able to set up shop. Superman punch doesn't quite work out. The early active frames not be able to go through, and a chunk of damage off that hit.
Yeah, no, big confirm there. Mr. 2 with a giant life lead this time. We are seeing so much back and forth, these little micro adjustments. So hard for either player to maintain the foothold. But right now, the grip, and this is going to be a chunk of damage, won't be enough to kill just due to Robo's innate defense and the scaling on a throw. but Binfish is in, does not get the full confirm, however, but the Robo command grab, and now what's the mix? Wow, what respect from both players, goodness.
What a backdash though, the launch on level 3 2S, burst from Mr. 2, who may be able to get it back if we go into a final round. Jump in, watch out for the explosion, no overhead yet, but the hop out's good. Michael Swartz there, just jump in, keeping our space, but off the wall. Huge damage with the double 5H. One more messy guess he can do it here, but there's the missile on the block. Mr. 2 has to be extra careful. Moving forward instead, slides right in. And now we're going to the final round of this final game.
Yeah, Binfish sent it there. It's like, if I slide under this nuke, the set is mine, but it does not connect. Mr. 2, again, unfazed. No emotion whatsoever, and is just content to set up the obstacle course once again, but the Robo Dash connects, and Binfish is going in.
Okay, Horsey's there, gets the juggle as well, double FRC, massive damage into the unblockable 6P, air throws good, one more guess, one more burst on the side of Mr. 2, but it's a big, big deficit.
Had the confirm right there, might have been baiting the burst. Now the burst comes out, no more get out of jail for Mr. 2, but gets the knockdown. And the Robo Dash from full screen, and the pop-off is real, and Binfish takes a massively back-and-forth set, 3-2, and the homies are hype.
Weathered the storm and fought out there with their heart out, showcasing so much fun with Robo, and all right, a little something to seal it, but
there's Faust, and then there's Elven Shadow Faust, and I promise you, they are not one and the same.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, Elven Shadow, we know, tried and true, very unique style of Faust.
Yes.
Will always bring it out. Very, again, battle-tested and hardened all throughout. Played in every version, Exerd, Axe and Core, Slash, however you name it.
Yep.
But GDOM, let's see what they do. They played a good battle, like you mentioned, against Faust earlier. They only need really one shot to make it extra scary, and Elven Shadow is not going to make it easy.
100%. No, this is one of those things where Elven Shadow knows this is a matchup that he can maintain control of, but there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure because a minor mistake can turn everything on its head. So expect Elven Shadow to play pretty calculated and careful here, try and minimize those risks and still do what Faust does best. And so far, working to perfection. Nickel and dime hits, no supermassive converts, the cross-up, fake cross-up, from Bozak, a classic of his Faust play. And the scalpel pull going to close out round one and pretty quickly overall.
Yeah, Gmod had the answers against it. I mean, Cliff just crouching does a great job of avoiding the scalpel pull, but Elven Shadow using a lot of different options, and very happy to just abuse the drill a lot, especially in moments where you feel like, okay, I can put on some pressure, or Faust is just going to have to land. No, just spaces things really well, and is so annoying with it.
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned decades of experience, and where that really shows is in the item management. You will see Elven Shadow get the most out of even weak items by knowing what they're going to do with the space provided, and he's so good at utilizing them. And then once the Elven Shadow luck starts, you're forced to use a gold burst because the meteors are coming down. This is a big life deficit, but not for Cliff.
Not at all. With all this meter here, gets a chunky hit, but doesn't get the finishing touch on the combo. Scalpel pull is going to make it a one-touch affair. Try to get the air throw, no good. Had FD there running out of chances and getting bonked for your troubles.
Yeah, I'm very curious if GDOM was doing a hard burst read there, or if that was a missed input. Could have been either, given the combo routing that he chose. I can totally understand thinking, okay, I finally got my hit. Obviously, Elven Shadow's going to burst here, but if that was the case, very, very good patience from our tournament director and up to an early 1-0 lead. And right now, both characters just fighting for space. GDOM opting to burn an early burst to maintain the pressure. And so far is kind of holding Elven Shadow in the corner, but not able to continue the pressure. And those items slowly allowing Elven Shadow to scrape back towards mid-screen and a full confirm into the air.
All right, Little Faust coming through to help out. Walks the words, no problems there, but the lead Elven Shadow has right now looking pretty insurmountable. GDOM not getting the opportunity to make those big comebacks like last time. A little bit of a donut as a treat for your troubles. Trying to blast them back, but it ain't going to matter much as we're going to get the jump over. You're not FDing, you're getting burned up, toasted, and Elven Shadow match point.
Yeah, something underrated about Bomb. It does a boatload of chip damage if you do not FD see it. So 2 of them out at the same time catches G-Dom, and the bedpan with the hit, got to be very careful. That's a high stun item, and Cliff has a very low stun modifier, ironically. So right now, Elven Shadow just kind of doing what he does best, but G-Dom getting a little bit of momentum here. Gets the corner, a donut out. Does get picked up, so now Elven Shadow gonna opt for item super. 2 bombs out again.
Oh, both of them getting blessed. Working a little bit for G-Dom, but against them especially here, the run under's good. Spit some game. Forced a crossover, a chance here. Watch out for the drill. That's a great option to big chunky damage. Needs one more hit and a hero burst from Elven Shadow with Real Robokai. Can be really good. Misses up.
Yeah, missed the air throw. The burst is baited, and now Elven Shadow trying to close this out with that late burst. Not the greatest item pull of all time, but there are a bunch of mini fouls that G-Dom is gonna have to navigate. Nowhere to go. And Elven Shadow takes it 2-0. Why would I fight you? I got the squad in. So you have to play a very modified game here with Baiken, and a lot of times it requires playing so far outside their comfort zone that it's a very difficult matchup to adjust to, whereas Potemkin basically gets to play his ideal matchup. You have things to flick, you have better buttons to play at range, and you don't have to be that cognizant of guard counter because they have to be aware of Potemkin Thruster. But early on, Tazriel getting some hits, gets a throw, and is off to a pretty nice start here.
All right, again, just immediate to Tommy. Potemkin with a good backdash, still has to hold some of this. RC spends all the meter, gets a Sakura on the head hammer fall.
Yeah, no,
Hammer lost a lot of life. I mean, we're talking about Potemkin, a lot of options, but again, Baiken picking and choosing a lot of those spots, using that 6K, which is though invulnerable, can be really, really good. And Potemkin does have to hold the pressure like anybody else. So
yeah.
As tricky as it can be, dealing with it on defense, on offense, Baiken can really shine.
Yeah, no, you're going to see Tazriel clutch on that 6K a lot. It is one of the few equalizers in this matchup. Ooh. The other being the obscene damage Baiken does anywhere near the corner.
Nice
the counter
out.
hit, or it gets the knockdown. Right now, Native looking a little ragged. Does get the burst out of the way, so now we'll be able to pressure a little bit more freely. But right now, Tazriel going in. Nice use of the TKO. Zonson is on the verge of closing out this first game.
All right, Hammerfall finally meets its mark. A knockdown's going to be good here. Tazriel now for the first time under pressure. The unblock with the slide head getting a little bit of extension, but the backdash a good answer to the second time. And the up back combo meets the mark. Tazriel playing this matchup exceptionally well. Headsets off for Native.
Yep.
No more audio cues from there as matching Tazriel with just playing on vibes alone.
Yeah, no, very smart play from Tazriel, playing, kind of just basing the entire game plan around max range 6K. Kind of prevents anything of shenanigans of the command grab variety, but that is the old-fashioned way. Tazriel opts to gold burst to get out of the pressure, but the jump over the force break Totemy, and now Native on the verge of closing out a round. One more mix-up could do it. The unblockable on the slide head doesn't get the combo, however, but the crossover into the FRC. And Native's like, all right, you had your fun. Now it is my turn.
Right. One little, even with all that meter, one little mistake spelled so much doom. Hard knocked it off the slide head, but a wake up 6K, guessing against the grab, and then running up, doing the 6K again. Wake up pop buster is not going to work. A big counter hit if Native isn't careful, but finds the anti-air 6P. Down we go. Unblock again is good. Right into the heat knuckle.
Yeah, no, Native making some really good adjustments, starting to hit that unblockable slide head. That is not easy to do, friends. That is a very specific timing. Calls out the backdash with the 5K. Not quite enough on the scaling, but once more into the forward heavy. And Native's like, all right, I see what you're doing now. I hope you have another layer, my friend.
Like, oh man, command grabs are cheap because you can't block against them. What if your command grab character just had a legit unblockable?
Right.
What if he just bopped the ground, quaked it so hard, and timed it perfectly that it just loops in and of itself? Shadows of vanilla accent core Potemkin.
Let's not talk about dark parts of the past.
Hey, the Native Impact's trying to bring us back to that. Great flick on the mat. FRC is beautiful. Native's in the bag right now.
Yeah, no, Native has finally got the feel. That is the challenge with fighting Native. He's so good at adapting mid-match and is so good at adjusting to his opponent's game plans. But we're seeing some new layers from Tazriel now. Kind of being patient, picking the spots, but the slide head is spaced perfectly into the knockdown. Baku does get, and wow, what respect from both players. Baku, good lord, the respect from both players going in.
Side head, a bit of damage. Doesn't get the unblock, but Tazriel too far for a confirm. One little hit can do it, and the jump D putting those glutes to work. Match point native.
Yeah, seeing little adjustments from Tazriel, but it's going to take a little bit more. Needs to hit those big confirms, start racking up that Viking damage, but so hard to keep native in the corner because he's so content to be patient. And the 6P hits, but no confirm, but it gets the corner. However, no FRC on the slide or the hammer fall, and now Tazriel gets the corner with the throw. What's going to be the play?
Tommy into 6K, immediate hammer fall, small punish, but not getting the most of it. Yosansen's good, but no extra confirm after. At least finds the jump heavy, but it's still a rough road. Our first throw tech of the block.
Yeah, don't see it very often. It's a very tight window to take throws in plus R, a whole 2 frames. And Native gets the jump, but not the full confirm. We've seen multiple drops in this round. So Tazriel still with life. TK Yosansen whiffs. Native going up, goes for the command grab, but it's snuffed out by the 6K.
Goal burst connects all this meters here, but the block is good. No confirm off a nice dead angle. We're gonna set up a Gantor, no, just RC baits to Sakura. Hops over though, anyone's game. 6K into throw. Can we finish the job with a light combo? Should be able to right there, and now a double match point.
Wow, Tazriel staying strong, able to clutch out this round. Final game, final round between 2 very strong players. Right now, Tazriel just kind of playing at tip range, gets caught by the slide head though, and the delay 5K, the burst is baited but not punished, so Taz is out, Oran's on the other side has earned the corner.
Multiple 6Ks, just daring Native to go for a command grab, wake up 6K again. I double dog dare you. Get your mitts off me. Jumping's good. Air dash after caught Native trying to press. Huge damage finally for Tazriel.
Yeah, big confirm there, has the corner. Native opts to spin the meter and dead angle out, but now has very little meter to play with and is going to have to really pick the spots to get in. Now has an FRC on deck, more options available. The Hammerfall break into the Potemkin Buster, and another miss. Hammerfall gets through but doesn't punish. Double Baku.
Life lead's still good, but gets another little combo. One more from Tazriel can do it. Baits the burst. One more combo away. Finds the confirm. Force break to Tommy. And the command grabs with Tazriel with an upset. Victory over Native makes it to the winner's side of top 48.
Wow. Absolutely an upset, and that is no shade to Taz. Winner of this will qualify out of this pool and will move on to our top 48. So big stuff to happen here as we get Hoshi no Temi versus Mar, and we are getting, wow, we get Slayer versus Mini Slayer. Outstanding. So, both characters love to control the horizontal space, throw out the big buttons, and absolutely delete life bars in their spare time. We'll see who has the better confirms on deck, but early on, Hoshi no Temi with the first blood.
And next, let's wake up 2P, get a small knockdown charge, some cards up, little OTG just to force Slayers to stand up. And now it's the scary part. If you're Hoshi no Temi, you gotta watch how you're pressing, but a force break puffball into some big damage. There's the burst out to mitigate a little bit of the bleeding.
Yeah, nice confirm there. Does earn Hoshi no Temi's burst, but thrown back into the corner for the trouble. Opts to burst themselves. Woo! Puffball beats out the big bang upper. We're swinging now, folks. And now, block Ryujin, but no punish. As Hoshi no Temi misses an opportunity, possibly close out the round with that much meter, but a nice air confirm, and this should close it out. Says, I'll drop it once. I'm not dropping it for you twice, Fred.
No, sick. The second time we see the IAD confirm. Undertow coming out in neutral here. Not a release. Best option there, a little armored, blockable. Heavy damage potential though with the throws. Starting to add up, try to go for a third, but nice jump back from Mar.
All right, the dive kick does land there. Dangerous to do to that height. Gets away with it, but the force break. Puffball. Have the loops, going to get the knockdown and probably a charge. Oh, drops the last loop. That's big. Break baits out the force break into the crosswise heel, and now has a charge region on deck.
Boy.
Immediately lets it rip, but drops the combo.
And not even get a chance here. Yeah, you burst there. Pretty tough spot to be in, especially with that dizzy. As we're all tied up in rounds, Hoshi no Temi shaking their head a little bit, but finds a 5P, but doesn't quite get the combo.
Yeah, right now just not quite finishing the plate on those confirms from Hoshi no Temi. If they can clean that up, I do like the chances quite a bit. But a grip from Mar, going to take the damage, chase down a little bit. Nice challenge there from Hoshi no Temi. Does get parried, but not punished, so no harm, no foul. Force break Puffball right now is winning out in the horizontal space war, and charge Ryujin connects. This is gonna be a grip, but not a full knockdown. So Hoshi no Temi's forward heavy. All right.
Gonna even it up pretty well here. Just hard knockdowns there. Meters on the side of Hoshi no Temi. There's the burst. Finds the 2S. Doesn't get the punish on the burst here, but still has the dead on time available. Has one or two big bang uppers. Instead, we're gonna trade places to a big advantage on Mar's side.
Wow. Basically even. Hoshi no Temi gets the confirm. Can they close it out? I like it. Keep it simple. Don't give yourself a chance to drop it. Spend all the cash, and Hoshi no Temi wins a squeaker real back and forth. About what you expect from Slayer and Jam. We're hitting hard. We're hitting fast.
Yeah, scary. Nothing left on either side here, as now we're going into our second game. Nice 2P mash out to stop like the cross-up pressure, but still finds the grab. In the corner you go, and we're trading. What a hit.
Yeah, no, that trade earns Hoshi no Temi Mar's burst, but again, Force Break Puffball is getting real mileage in this matchup thus far. See if Hoshi no Temi has any adaptation to work around that. Mostly even here, does block that Puffball, but nothing doing, gets the knockdown, charge the card. Nice bait on the Force Break Dandy, and earns Hoshi no Temi's burst, but the TP catches, and now pushing back to the corner.
Big upper, 5 heavy, doesn't get the pile bunker as Mar low on life. Force break Puffball trying to charge a card, a little greedy. And here we go, anyone's round here, counter hit, gets the slidey, one more gas, can do it, wake up heavy, comes through, a lot of plus frames, there's the throw.
Yeah, slides through and gets the throw, not gonna have quite enough to finish, but the air tech catch! And Mar gets round one of game two. Really, really smart there. Says, I think you're going to tech out. Let me just stick this hitbox out here. And Mar on the board here in game two. Nice use of 2D. Hoshi no Temi realizing that can get through some of the jam pressure, but another catch here. Wow, Blackbeard for a whole lot. And the force break cards. IK activation? Okay.
Mar's face right there.
Yeah.
Look at their lips like, okay, maybe we get a little too spicy with that parry. Very clean. The DP card is out. Ryujin and Gekkerin are available. Should be able to combo here, no problem. Let it rip for some massive damage. Get some more cards. There we go. Stack the deck.
Yeah, nice use of the enhanced Gekkerin to get the big damage. And the enhanced Ryujin gonna close this out with all the cards. Mar making the adjustment, taking a sigh of relief there. That is how you do it. That is the formula for Jam. Get your knockdown, spin the cash, load up the deck, and say, I am the blackjack dealer, and you are merely a patron.
Hey, house always win, but we'll
Yes,
see.
Sir.
Can the house clear out? Is Hoshi no Temi one last chance here? 1-1. Gekkerin counter hit. There's that early burst. Big victory for Mar to start things out.
Yeah, no. Back and forth here. We've had a lot of swinging, a lot of conversions. It's going to come down who can clutch out the most.
Wow.
Right now, Mar getting a feel, has the deck stacked up, and the Gekkerin hits. But the drop into the flip, nice challenge from Hoshi no Temi, trying to fight their way out of the corner. Does earn the space and gets a jump heavy counter hit. Should be big damage, but another drop. That's a difficult drop to try and navigate right now.
Okay, sliding knockdown, advantage of life lead for Hoshi no Temi, but watch out, the Gekkerin is coming. Fully stacked cards, flip over, and then Gekkerin's gonna work. Ryujin ready to go. If you're not careful, Hoshi no Temi could be quite over.
What? And the burst is baited, and Mar gonna close out up 1-0 in the final game, now on set point. We're seeing Gekkerin get so much mileage for Mar right now. Doesn't look like Hoshi no Temi has an answer, especially to the card version. So gonna have to find something to deal with that here very soon. And force break Puffball yet again, just saying, nope, this is my space, get out of here, I need my resources.
Great DP, and catches the air tech. Not ready with an FD, big damage into the extension as well. Give me those cards, and now guess. High, low, what do you know? Mar with the 2-1 win over Hoshi no Temi with some spectacular jam play.
Yeah, it took a little bit to get the feet wet, kind of figure out how that matchup was